Hello, everyone. It's Don, Captain Cross-Stitch, here once again, coming to you this fine 2nd of June. Yes, we're in June already. It's Tuesday, June the 2nd. So today's date is a palindrome, 6226. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But anyway, hope you all are doing well and enjoying hopefully good weather where you are. And since my last video, we've had Memorial Day, and so hopefully you all have a good time celebrating that holiday, however you choose to do that. It's one of several holidays throughout the year that celebrates things that make our country great, and remembering those that helped make it great and their sacrifices. So if you have a loved one who serves in some fashion for our country, you know the feelings that those kind of things can bring up. But it's the first of many. We got a big one coming up next month in July, our 250th anniversary of the essentially founding of our great country 250 years ago. So that'll be a big to-do for us, and hopefully it'll usher in another 250 years of, at least for the past couple millennium, the greatest country that ever existed. But we got to hold on to it. So keep that in mind when you're choosing who you want to represent you in politics. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Because we do have midterm elections coming up in November, and probably in your local jurisdiction you have your, what do you call it, the early voting, or I forget the terminology, but anyway. So get out there and vote. So since last time, life update, pretty much same as it was. No job, no money. Trying to think. I did hear back from my attorney, and my initial claim for disability was denied, which is typical, I think, is standard SOP for people filing disability. I've heard cases of where it takes 2 or 3 years to get it, which that would be devastating if it took that long. But I guess we can only take it 1 month at a time. But next month I should be able to apply for unemployment again for this year, since it's been a year since I last filed a claim, or it will be at that point. Sorry, my leg's bothering me, so I'm wiggling a lot. But that's life, right? Anyway, so what did I do? You didn't come here to just hear me ramble, so in case I hadn't mentioned it already, I probably did not. This channel is mostly about cross stitch. You might not think that to look at me, but yeah, it's about cross stitch and some other fun stuff you didn't know you needed to know. Yeah, so in the month of May, I'll be honest with you, I was preoccupied with other things mentally, so I really wasn't much in the mood to do much stitching, to be honest. I only touched a couple of things for a short, brief period of time. But one of the things I did work on was a new start, which I had mentioned last video that I was going to start, and I'll go ahead and show you that. It was the stitch along that was broken up into 4 parts across the 4 regular issues of Just Cross Stitch magazine in 2025. So last year they did a 4-part stitch along. It was from Sprouting Lupine designed it. Kat Olin, I think her name is. So yeah, I bought all the required materials. So I'm not going to dig out a picture of the finished design. I'll just show you my start. So this is the center. So I'm doing the upper left quadrant. So I'm starting in the center and I'll work my way out. So I don't know if you can understand what this is, but this is a moth. And there are 4 moths. There'll be 4 different ones in each corner of each quadrant. And my new needle minder that I just got last week in the mail, some kind of leaf, I forget the name of it, but it was, I don't know the company that makes it offhand. I'd have to look find the package it came in. But I ordered it through Lindy Stitches. They, of course, if you didn't know, they just had their spring mingle last month. So that was part of a couple of things that I ordered. Yeah, even though I don't have money, I still ordered a few things. I didn't go hog wild like I normally do, but I did order a couple of things, and that was one of them. I spent $50, so that's subdued for me. And $50 in cross stitch doesn't get you too far. This month's episode unofficially brought to you by Diet American Dew. That's right. It's not just Mountain Dew. They got this new American packaging with the red, white, and blue stars and stripes exploding out from behind the logo. So, yeah, everybody is celebrating the 250th. Like I said, food companies. I know Oreo has special edition of celebrating America this year, and Dew and Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, they have cans with names of the 50 states on them, randomly. So that was my one new start, and like I said, I didn't do much, literally almost nothing. But the only other thing I touched was I worked on this 2 different days. One was for the monthly shadowing group that I do a virtual stitching session every first Wednesday of the month, which will actually be coming up tomorrow, June 3rd. At least that's when it should be. I haven't gotten an email about it yet. But anyway, I touched it then, and I touched it again in my third Saturday stitch group, which we always have a pretty good crowd there. It's the group is called the Heirloom Stitchers. It's in Hartford County, Maryland. We meet every third Saturday at the Panera in the festival in Bel Air. If you know somebody that lives close to there, or yourself, and you want to show up. It's from 9 to 12. Yeah, we had a pretty good group. Shout out to some of my buddies there, the organizer, Kim Weinhold. Let's see, who else? Who else was there? Heather. Trying to think who else was there. Kayla, my new buddy. she's in my coloring group as well. And the regulars, we got Ellen and Sue, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some people, but yeah. So what I worked on was, of course, you've seen this before. This is Scorpio from Nora Corbett, and this is one of the ones she signed for me when I saw her last year. So it's an elegantly simple design. There's a lot of skin there, which I've been working on. And but I've made some progress. It's starting to take shape. So you can kind of see the shape of her. You can definitely make out the one arm really well, and that's the slope of her back. And then her face is starting to make itself known there. So yeah, I'm happy with how that's coming along. And I'm stitching this on a piece of 14 count Palomino. It's kind of like a creamy beige color. It's got really nice modeling in it, and it's from Grace Notes Fabrics. Oh, come on. Things getting fussing with me. And I don't have a pretty lady's bag, but I do have it in a mermaid bag, which, is mostly apropos coming from Nora. She's done a ton of mermaids, both in Mirabilia and her Nora Corbett line. And I forgot to mention the fabric for the other start with the moth. That's being stitched on a 14 count fabric called Into the Veil with a V, and that was from Bestitch Me. That was the called for fabric, so I went with that for that. And then my bag that I'm storing that in is in my very lovely flowered bag. This is from Shiva Designs. They're from Canada. Look them up on Instagram. I'm not sure if she's on Etsy or anything like that, but check her out on Instagram, and she has links to her business there. That's Melissa, by the way, from Shiva Designs. So that's the only stitching I've done. Like I said, it was a pitiful month for me. So on to haul. Like I said, since my money supply has dried up, I haven't really been ordering. I had already set aside money, a small amount of money for the spring Mingle thing from Lindy Stitches, so I didn't buy a whole lot, but I did show you the needle minder. It's a Monstera leaf. That's the let's see. Trying to read. I can't read the back. It's in white lettering. It's from a company called Embroidery and Sage. You can find this on Lindy Stitches. I'm assuming they still have some available. So I got a package because some of the things I ordered were hard copies, and they included an event hanger for their upcoming events for the remainder of the year. And if you're interested, they still have 3 events scheduled for the remainder of 2026. Midsummer Stitch is coming up July 18th through the 19th. Then the Harvest Moon Hangout is September 25th through the 27th. And then the ever-popular Jingle Ball is in December, and that is from the 4th through the 6th. So I haven't seen anything yet for the Midsummer Stitch tickets being sold yet, but it's got to be coming soon because the event's in July. But the other side of the door hanger is quite cute. It says, "Please do not disturb," which would be typical for privacy doorknob hanger. But it says, "Please do not disturb. I'm stabbing things." So that was cute. So they sent me that and a little moth sticker. And then of course, so and then as far as the upcoming Midsummer Stitch, designers that shall be in attendance include Tiny Modernist, Jed X Stitch, who's one of my favorites. I really want to start something from her. The Blue Flower, Janine McGowan, House of Cam, I don't know who that is, and the fabric company Bestitch Me. So yeah, it's nice. They give you a nice little project card, which is nice. You can throw that in a bag with your project. So in case you're a Floss tuber, you have it in there and you could read off the cards. It's got you can put the date you started it, the fabric, the dyer, the name of the color, the fabric, the count, what floss you're using, and any other additional notes you might want to include. So that's a nice touch. I like that. I will be using that. So 2 things that I ordered that were hard copies. I got from Hands On Design. I got their Botanical Bee. I'm a bee fan, so if you can create a really cool bee design, I'll be all over it. Yeah, Blue Flower has several similar kind of size designs as well, which I have. And then another one which I thought was just too cute to pass up is it's called Beach Quaker from Primrose Cottage. Isn't that adorable? Just the color selection is really good. So I look forward to doing that. So I got those 2, and then I got 2 other ones which were digital downloads. Let's see if I can pull that up on the PC here. I'm trying to remember who they were. I know one was, yeah, I got something called the Jackalopian Tapestry, which it's got a jackalope. I mean, how can you not buy that? It was really, really cute. Trying to remember what the other one was. Oh well. if I think of it in the future, I'll share it. But, so that was my Lindy Stitches haul. I did buy something off of, I can't remember if it was Facebook Marketplace or something else. But somebody was, getting rid of some stash, destashing. And I came across one that it just looked really fun. It would be a fun stitch, so I had to have it. It's from the Drawn Thread. See if I can. It's called the Treasure Box. Very simple, but very interesting design. And it came with some floss, and it even has a little bag of beads. So I think this is needlepoint silk, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be actually that would be my first time working with that. I've never tried their silk before. And then the only other haul I have is my fabric of the month. Last month, I can't remember if I had one last month, but I think they were a little behind or off on their shipping, because I got two relatively close together, but I think one was for April, and I just got it later. I think if I remember correctly, the Simpson family who runs the company, they were on vacation down in Disney World, so they were, I think, a little off on their shipping. Not that I personally care, I really don't, but that's probably why. Because literally the day after I posted my last month's video, I got it. I was like, But anyway, so I got two to show you then. This one is called Silver Bells. The little sticker they send. As you can imagine, it's a really subtle silver blue color. So I always get neutrals because pretty much you can almost stitch anything on a neutral. So at some point, I'll probably have to give this up if I don't get some kind of job or source of income. And then this is the more recent fabric of the month. It is called White Sands. Another sticker. So this is a very, again, a very light, subtle sand color. Very usable. So that's it for haul. All right. What do we got? What else do we got? Future plans. Well, I think last video I talked about planning and trying to stay engaged with my stitching, which obviously has been very lacking, and I apologize for that. I don't have much in the way of actual performative stitching to show you. But I'm hoping June will turn that around. I don't know. But future plans. So for June, what do we got coming up in June? By the calendar's reckoning, we got Flag Day coming up on the 14th, which is a Sunday. And then the Sunday after that, 21st, is Father's Day, and it's also the beginning of summer on Father's Day as well. So yeah, it's Mother's Day and Father's Day is, I guess, maybe for the first time in a few years, has been kind of sad for me. All of my parents and grandparents are deceased, so I don't have the joy of being in their company anymore. It was always very reassuring to know that they were just a mile or two away from me, which they were. Both my grandparents and my parents we were all that close geographically. So I miss them dearly. Not much more I can say about that. But so I do have some plans anyway, even if they go awry. So I had said last month one of my new starts coming up, which I planned for June, is I've shown this before. So in honor of Flag Day, there's our beautiful flag in my wonderful flag bag. I finally got my fabric. So I'm gonna be starting it. This is one of the two patriotic stitch-alongs that Grace Notes is going to be promoting at this year's retreat. So if you want to get in on it, you can start now. It doesn't have to be started when you go there, if you're going there. But so it's the Plum Street Samplers, A Worthy Patriot. Look at that. That is just phenomenal. It's a big one, but it'll be worth every minute to work on that. So I'm stitching it on a piece of Grace Notes fabric Bradley. This is a fat half because a quarter was just a little too small. It looks kind of yellow on the camera, and I guess there is some yellow to it because that's what stands out on camera. But in person, it leans more towards a kind of like a parchment, like a brownish, yellowish brown, I guess is the best way to put it. That's kind of what I wanted. This particular dye lot is a little more, because I have a smaller piece of Bradley, which is not as yellow. So I was a little disappointed in how yellow this kind of is, but it'll suffice. But anyway. So that's one I want to start. Another one that I said I was going to start, which is in my beautiful bird bag. Which is also a Shiva Designs bag. But this I don't have an actual picture, but I know you've all seen it. It's Extraordinary Birds, the stitch along from last year's Lola Crow, and I'm doing it on a piece of Be Stitch Me sandbar, which was the called for fabric. Ooh, where'd that come from? So I want to get started on that. So that's for June. Another project, a past project that I haven't touched in a long while, is a project called Bellatrix from Bella Filipina. It's big. There's a lot of purples in it. And I had started on it, but I hadn't really done much. It is huge. Oh man, I'm yawning and sneezing and everything else. So there's big swatches of color, which can get a little boring. But I want to touch on it because June the 12th, is my anniversary of starting that project. Was it a year ago or 2 years ago? I can't remember now. All of my years are blending together. But, and I had started it originally because the designer is from the Philippines. I figured I would honor them because I absolutely love the designer. And so what I'm going to do, I had mentioned this last video, I want to do a Bella Filipina pattern parade. But I don't want to do it in a regular episode. So what I plan on doing is, in about 10 days from now, on the 12th, I'm going to do my first special edition video, extra video. And I kind of owe you guys one because this past November, December, I skipped a month because I was down in the depths of boredom, despair, whatever you want to call it, depression, what have you. But so I'm going to do a special, my first special edition, a Bella Filipina parade. So hopefully that excites you. It excites me to some degree. I will admit. And what I'll do is I will work on my Bellatrix in advance so I can show you guys that, and then we'll get into the parade. All right, so let's see. Ba-bum, ba-bum-bum. Okay, and then next month, the month that my friend Dana has been waiting for, Christmas in July. What? That's right. Look at all the Santas. Look at all these Santas. And this bag was handmade with love by Daisy Tolson. I've got several of her bags. She makes wonderful bags. So I'm not sure if she has an Etsy shop. Maybe search for her on Facebook. I can't remember where I connected with her. I think it was Facebook. So Daisy, if you're watching, I love your bags. Love the Santas. So I got this specifically because of this project that my friend Dana wants me to do. And I've been wanting to do this for a couple years. Because another floss tuber who I follow, Rosanna Bright and Dusty. If you're not watching her, you should run over to YouTube and search Bright and Dusty. She's a beautiful lady, red hair. I don't know if she's Irish, but she certainly could be. She lives in upper state New York somewhere. She's an avid, what do you call these, thrifter. She finds just a crazy amount of good stuff thrifting. I don't know. She must be in the Bermuda Triangle of cross-stitch thrifting bonanzas. But if you would just see some of the stuff she gets, you're going to be like, and it's continuous. It's not like, once a year or, once in a blue moon. It's almost like every video she finds gold. I don't know how she does it. I mean, but she's the one that got me, gave me the idea of going into, Goodwill stores or the local antique or thrift stores, and that piece up there with the quilt stitched on the bed. I think it's a bed. I can't see from here. Is a piece that I found at my local thrift store, which is like 0.2 of a mile from my house. So I rescued it, and I had that in a previous episode. Rosanna does a segment usually, as she calls it, saving the stitches, which is a good idea. So whoever did that back in the 90s, I think, did a wonderful job. It's a beautiful piece, so I had to display it with things that I've done. You can see some of them. There's my lighthouse right there. And then an owl that I had done from my mother 20 plus years ago. God, no, it's like almost 30 years. It's probably 30 years old. That can't be right. 96. 2000. Yeah, it's 30 years old. And the one above it, which you can't, that's a duck that I had done from my grandmother. Oh, and that reminds me, So the day before the Philippine Independence Day, and I'm going to talk about that in the video, the special edition video, the history of that. But the day before that, the 11th, is my grandmother's birthday. Now, I meant to figure out which birthday it was. It would have been for her. But I almost want to say it would be her 100th birthday if she was still here. I'm going to look that up. I have something that has her birthday and the date she passed on it, and I'm going to figure that out because I want to remember her as well. I'm going to do something in remembrance of her because I miss her. I love my grandma very much. She was very good to me growing up and even into really my whole life up until she passed. She loved a strawberry milkshake from McDonald's. That was like one of her. Almost any time I went over there, I knew I was going to see her. If there was a McDonald's within a reasonable path of travel, I would stop and get her a strawberry milkshake any time of day. It didn't matter. So I miss her. That's her there in the photo with my grandfather, and that's her. I'm gonna add a picture up top of my sister, but I can't. I have bad legs, so I can't really climb easily. So for me to try and hang something up high, it'd be hard to do. But I'm either going to try and do it or I'm going to have my wife do it. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So the project for Christmas in July that I want to do is called Santa's a Fable and Fantasy. Isn't that just adorable? Any one of them by themselves would be super cool. I mean, you've got patriotic Santa. You've got kind of like I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Yeah, it's there's a Russian Santa. There's Father Christmas. And then there's a wizard. The one right here, that's a wizard Santa. And then your traditional Santa in the middle. That is it's just an amazing design. And it's from the November-December 91 issue of Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. I'm sure you can find this on the secondhand market very easily, like on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or even at your local freebie table at a retreat or some kind of stitching event, or if you belong to like an embroidery guild. I know they have they readily have once a month meetings where people can, and you can bring your stuff you want to trade or give away. So take a look at those places, and even the Goodwill and thrift stores. I'm not sure if they do magazines or not. I was looking to see if it said who designed this. Oh, right there. Yeah, the designer. Oh no, wait a minute. Is it? Yeah. I'm not sure. They usually tell you who designed it, but yeah, it doesn't say. I'll have to find that out and see who that is, because I'd like to find more of their stuff if they ever did anything else. So that's another start, but that's more than a month away. That's for July. Okay. So beyond those things, August. I don't know what's going to happen in August. I'm able. I have enough money left to pay the bills for June and July, assuming nothing catastrophic happens. So August is going to be the beginning of problems. And unfortunately, that's the month that the Grace Notes retreat is going to happen. Now, I paid for that long ago. So, but the cost of going there and, renting a hotel room for 3 nights and, wanting to have cash for, buying stuff at the retreat is going to be severely limited if I do indeed get to go. I'm planning like I'm going, and I currently have money put aside for it, but that being said, I don't know what other choices I'm going to be able to make. I keep bringing it up to my wife, saying, this is going to be, going to become a reality soon. We need to have a plan, but she doesn't seem to want to talk about it or think about it. And I'm like, because I'm going to be like, well, how do we pay our mortgage? I mean, basically, she brings home enough money that could pay all the bills but the mortgage. Let's put it that way. So we've been in this situation once before in the past, you know. It was just like, I think, but the thing is, it's just like, well, you could pay everything but one. The mortgage is the one you really want to pay. So, or it's pay the mortgage and not pay the home equity and be able to keep the lights on, insurance on the car, you know, make the car payment. So, you know, I hate when it comes to those kind of decisions. It's like, okay, not knowing. I mean, granted, really what's going to make or break is whether or not I can reapply for unemployment in July and get it. Because last year when I was making inquiries, they said, you know, I said, what happens when my current year runs out? They're like, well, it runs out, and then you can't reapply until a year later from the beginning of your current claim. But they said there's no guarantee that you'll even get it the second time, which I find difficult to deal with. But so we'll see. I mean, hopefully, well, I won't know until the 18th of June, I think, is the date I remember them giving me. So, but I'm going to call this month and find out for sure when I can when I can reapply for it. So, man, I'm in terrible shape today. I'm sneezing and yawning, and so August, like I said, further out, Grace Notes retreat, and then a project that I have planned to start for August is something called Autumn Garden by the Drawn Thread. I have it all kitted up and ready to go, so we shall see. So that's it for this video. Coming up on an hour. Thank you. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back and tuning in here on my 30th video. I appreciate your support. And by the way, if I haven't answered any questions you may have posted on my last video, I'm going to do that today after I stop filming this. And then if you're a new viewer, I appreciate it. If you stuck with me this long, I appreciate it. Sometimes I kind of go off on a tangent and then I forget what I was talking about. So, but thank you. So if you can, so hit like and subscribe. I don't even know how many people I have subscribed anymore. I kind of stopped keeping track of it because it wasn't going anywhere. But if you like what you see, to spread the word. All right, I appreciate it. Until next time, this is Captain Crossstitch signing off. Until next month, celebrate and keep on stitching.